Is Honda's new fuel injection generator a good purchase and a good buy for you? We'll take a look at this unit to see if it's really worth your hard-earned money. As soon as you get this out of the box, you'll see it doesn't come with much except registration, warranty info, and of course a manual that most of the time nobody reads. Honda's EU3200i comes in at a starting price of $25.99, but most times is seen at $27.99 for a price of almost $3,000 after taxes. Honda's new generator will come with a new high-performance GX 130cc fuel-injected engine that should provide 3,200 starting watts, 2,600 running watts, and comes with a 1.2-gallon fuel tank, which should give you about 3.3 hours at 2,600 watts, or about 8.6 hours at a quarter load, which is around 650 watts. Honda's new generator without fuel or oil in it will weigh in right at about 59 pounds, which is right at the stated weight. This unit was also made in Japan. As we take a look at the faceplate, you can see there's not a lot going on. It's very simple, and there is something to be said about that. When things are simple, they just kind of last forever. This on-off switch, which is for your eco throttle, is also an overload reset button, and you can see there's weather protection caps all over everything except for the parallel ports, which you also won't find any DC out. You do have this ABS plastic, which does cover the L530R port, which will put out about 21.7 amps of power, and then you do have a 20 amp receptacle, which is good for 20 amps of output power. Now, when it comes to maintenance, one thing Honda does do well is keeping things pretty simplistic. If you don't have a screwdriver, a washer, or even a quarter will work to remove the main side panel of this unit. Or if you're accessing the spark plug port, it's just one big large cap that removes, and this gives you access to the new high performance engine spark plug, which I do like this because you don't need special tools. Also, when accessing the air filter, this is really easy as well, as there's plenty of room. Two clips remove the main cover to give you access to the pre-filter and also the main air filter, which I do like this one because this is a common size air filter, which you can find in big box stores, order it on Amazon easily, so you don't have to go looking for any special parts. This generator is also equipped with a charge canister, which is one of the items needed to be California compliant. As we add oil to this unit, putting a towel down is a great way to help make a mess and also keeps things nice and tidy. We'll check the oil level to see if there's any residual left over, which you can see there is, so I don't recommend adding 15 ounces. Adding 14 is plenty, and you can always add a little bit more later. Adding this little piece of tape is a great way to measure it out on your canister or jar, whichever you want to use, and now you can see that it's full. Now we can go ahead and button this up and get it outside, so we can now start comparing it to items such as this one. Okay, so here is a little bit of a size difference just between these three generators. Obviously the older Honda, and then you have the Max Speeding Rods 3500. Now these are all suitcase generators obviously, but you can see there is quite a difference in size when it comes to Honda's new suitcase, which obviously being taller and longer and weighing about 10 pounds more than the other two that you see here. Now, one thing that is a lot different is the style of fuel cap they're also using. This is more like an automotive fuel cap than it is anything else. Obviously much different when it comes to this one with a vent on top. Now, when adding fuel to your generator, 86 octane or higher is all you need, and if you're ever looking for an excellent gas can, I highly recommend the Sure Can, which is the one I'm using. Or when you are adding fuel to your generator and outdoor power equipment, I highly suggest still running a fuel conditioner of some sort. This will prevent hard starting, also make your fuel last longer, and is just a good step for any outdoor power equipment and small engines. Now, when starting up this new Honda, there isn't much except for turning on the on switch, and you can't even adjust the eco throttle, so it'll do it automatically. But I like pulling on the starter rope kind of slowly to help circulate oil for the first few times, and then after a few times I'll go ahead and just give it a pull, and then it should fire right up. And there it goes. Now again, Honda's faceplate is very simple. You'll see on the far right a flashing Bluetooth indicator to pair your phone, the green eco throttle position, also a little booklet meaning maintenance, an exclamation point meaning something is wrong, and then your fuel level to let you know about how much fuel is left. Alright, well, what do you think? First time hearing it. I can tell right away that the EU22 is quieter. Of course, this one does have a bigger engine and is just bigger overall, but we'll go ahead and do our sound checks to see how it compares. Now, I did want to get the app loaded up, that way I could keep track of load and hours, but I was having some problems with the QR code. Now, if this happens to you, you can pull off the side panel and it'll show you where you can find the little code that you can enter into the app, and then this will allow you to finish uploading everything that you need to so the app will start working. Now, you will need to pair the generator to your phone within the first 30 seconds, or at least while the Bluetooth indicator light is flashing. And so now you can see that it gives us some information like estimated time left, or at least fuel, which is 55%. We can turn off or on the eco throttle and also turn off the generator from here. You can also activate eco throttle by turning this button on and off right here as well on the faceplate. That way you don't have to use your phone if for some reason you can't get it connected. Now, if you guys have seen my videos before, you know that I've probably done a lot of sound testing right in this exact spot, so I do have a lot of data to be able to go off of. So this is right at 23 feet, right at the little mark that's right there on the ground. And so now as we take a look at our sound meter, right at about 59, 60 decibels. Now we'll go ahead and turn off the eco, and same spot. Now, one thing with Honda is that they always use the best inverters. You can see our starting voltage. Well, when you put a load on these, the voltage drop is pretty minimal. We'll be checking that later on a different video, but we will do our quarter load sound check now. Okay, so we'll be using that hair dryer over there, and it's either going to be about 125 below or about 125 watts above what quarter load would be. But I found that the RPM doesn't really change too much when you're only putting on the quarter load, so that is going to help keep it quiet. And right now you can see we're just about 500 watts, and so that's not going to be quite a quarter load, but it'll work. Okay, so right about 500 watts. Doesn't really change it much when it comes to the sound level. Okay, so now I have right about 20 amps on this. As you can see there, that's about 20 amps using a heat gun and that hair dryer. Okay, and just to give you an idea, the EU3200I, this is at eco mode and low idle, so no load. That way, in case anybody was wondering, now you can kind of see what it's like, and you can definitely tell it's quieter. But again, with Honda's engines and their muffler, you get a low tone, which is kind of nice. It doesn't kind of have those higher pitches, so it does make a difference. And again, the same thing with the inverters. Honda always uses good quality inverters, so you're always getting peak voltage and also a pure sine wave. Okay, and for the Honda, for just a little bit of fun, I'm running over max as far as its rated power of 15 amps, but it is capable of doing that just for a little while, and that time dependent will be on temperature, altitude, and the load. And now as we take a look at our sound meter, very similar results. Okay, and just to compare a different generator, we have the max peating rods, 3500 start, 3000 running. It's running on eco mode with no load at the moment. And a quick look at the inverter as it just sits idle. Okay, since rated running power is 3000 watts, quarter load would be about 750. So that's our 750 watt load. Okay, quarter load test, that's the max peating rods. Right about 61. So these little ones actually, they're pretty impressive. Okay, so now I have the heat gun and the hair dryer on, pulling about that same 20 amp load that I had on the Honda 3200. So now we'll do a sound check here. So not bad. Now when it comes to the new EU3200I, you can't buy these in California. You won't even see one in California, to be honest. But the thing is what happened is that there was a lawsuit with Honda back in 2020 where they lost millions of dollars selling a lot of Honda generators in the state of California that were not CARB certified. So they ended up pulling all their generators out of California, which is why you don't see them anymore. And I think they never reapplied for the CARB sticker to allow them to be able to sell the new units in California. So again, I don't think they're going to really do too much focusing on that because it is only one state, which has the most amount of people in it. But they're going to really be focusing more on their battery technology, the Honda Power Pod, and more. And I also want to give a little shout out to Spanky up in Oregon for making part of this possible. He helped me out getting one of these units along with Trevor as well. So I definitely appreciate all your guys' help up there. So overall, what do you guys think about the new Honda generator? It definitely has a very good quality build to it. All the components feel real nice. The plastic is smooth. It's a nice thick plastic as well. It is definitely constructed of Honda quality for sure. Is it worth your $3,000? That is what I want to know. And how will it perform with GenMax's new EFI that's coming out soon? So let me know in the comments down below what you guys think, and I hope to see you guys next time.